Who's to blame? What's to blame for the Arizona Cardinals 5-game losing skid? We go to the number one ball knower we know. It's Baldy. He's breaking it down here. Hit that subscribe button here on PHNX Sports. Like this video. And Baldy, things have gone from bad to worse as far as this Cardinals team goes. When you look at the tape, when you're just kind of breaking things down and you see a team that can't stop the bleeding on a 5-game losing streak, where do you kind of first point and say that's the biggest issue?
Well, there's a lot of blame. I mean, defensively, they couldn't make a stop in the fourth quarter. They had 2 drives, short fields, basically, basically 50 yards, but they had them at 4th and 2. And, they get their tight end against the rabbit out there. And it's a perfect throw. They don't affect the throw. They don't get home. They don't blitz the play. And, they get a big chunk on 4th down. And then even after that, though, I mean, they ran the ball like there was no problem. 9 yards here, 5 yards here for you. I mean, couldn't make a stop. And then conversely, I'm not sure quite, I just happen to be a Micah Parsons fan. I know you guys probably can't stand him right now, but I don't know how on that last drive, you're just letting Micah Parsons go one-on-one. I mean, I just don't know how you even line up and not have a chip, help, anything. Like he ruined him, on that one particular play where they take the sack and they got a nice drive going. Really good drive going. And that's really what's happened in this whole 5-game losing streak is they can't make a play at the end of the game and they can't make a stop at the end of the game. And every one of these games, whether it's Indianapolis, San Francisco, Green Bay, it's coming down to the final drive. Either they can't finish a drive or they can't stop a drive. And so where's the blame to go? I mean, it's a group thing until they can actually make that play to win the game.
Yeah, I want to double down on that, Baldy. I'm sure we're going to talk about, the quarterback situation, but I view the issues with this team, it's greater than just what's happening behind center. Like, Baldy, when you watch this team for 4 quarters, like you just described, every Cardinal fan, how are they leaving Micah Parsons ISO on Jonah Williams? Why are they giving him help, tight end, running back, something? Would you say this is a well-coached team right now?
Well, I mean, that's a coaching. I've watched Micah every game for 5 years. He ruins your offense if you don't give him the attention that he deserves. I don't care what he's done in the game. He's going to ruin it if you give him that opportunity one-on-one. I don't care what team it's against. He's done it to everybody. I mean, to me, that's a coaching. That's a mistake right there. I mean, you put that on the coaches. That's on the formation. That's on your play caller, Drew. That's on. You just can't. You just can't let that happen. There's just no way. I mean, he's ruined too many games in this league.
Yeah, he really has. I mean, we saw numbers we've never seen from a pass rusher. Micah Parsons has been doing this at a high level for a long time. 11 pressures in that game, the most in a decade. It's absurd. And it's like Jonah Williams plays every snap. Jonah Williams is going one-on-one with this guy. But we've seen struggles from that spot pretty consistently throughout the season. Would it benefit the Cardinals because we saw some nice play from Kelvin Beachum last year for them to just make a change at the right tackle spot?
Well, I mean, Kelvin, he's been around the league a long time. He's a very veteran guy. You want him on your team. I don't know that he's going to be any better if you leave him out there one-on-one with a guy like Micah Parsons. Now, you're going to see Dallas this weekend without Micah. They don't have anywhere near the pass rushers, but they got some young guys that, give them the opportunity. They showed up last week for the first time. But, I mean, I don't know. If you're in a Wednesday install meeting and you're playing the Green Bay Packers, I mean, every single formation you're talking about, every play you call, you're like, all right, where's Parsons? What's our plan if he's over the right tackle, over the left tackle, if he lines up over the center? What's our plan here? Because you can't leave him one-on-one. He's going to do what he did on Sunday.
Baldy, we talk consistently with you about this team's offensive struggles. And, at times they felt like they've been in over their head. I know that Drew's had his shortcomings, but we always felt like, well, they can hang their hat on the fact that Jonathan Gannon, Nick Rallis, defensive savants, that side of the ball is going to be on point. Well, Baldy, this year in the NFL, they have the worst fourth quarter defense in the entire National Football League, to the point where Jacoby Brissett has played well enough for them to win these last 2 games. Their defense has completely collapsed. What are you seeing from this unit from quarters 1 through 3, fast forward to the fourth quarter, where they just completely collapse onto themselves?
They weren't aggressive at all. in that last drive Sunday. I mean, I'm just going back to the most recent game. They weren't aggressive at all. And that's not really who they are. I mean, I think they are an aggressive blitzing team, and they've got the personnel to do it. The thing that you can't do if you're evaluating the Cardinals, don't look at any numbers, because the numbers you're talking about in the fourth quarter skew everything. Because you can look at their third down, you can look at their quarterback rating, you can look at, rush defense, you can look at all that stuff, and it looks pretty good. But I saw Josh Jacobs go for 9. I saw him go for 5. I saw him run, at the goal line. Like, when they had to make a stop, they couldn't make a stop. And so there's something inherently, and I don't know if it's just talent either, because, Josh Sweat looks like he's a good signing, and Calais looks like he's a good signing, and, on and on and on. But, when you can't make a stop like that, that's everything. That's the coaches, the players, that's the belief, it's the system. Like, because it's going back to San Francisco. The same thing happened there. So it's been a consistent issue. And I don't know how you address it. I kind of know what I would do, but I don't know what Jonathan is doing at this point. That's his bailiwick, is being able to, because it comes down to, all right, because in a simplistic term, if you're a defender, you're like, if you do your homework, if you know the formation, you know the play almost entirely. That's how the Luke Kuechly's of the world make a living. You know the formation, you know the play. And I think Green Bay is pretty good at that. Like, they're in a run formation, what they're going to do. And so I feel like you have to know their protections, how to attack the protection. And maybe they're just not good enough right now and get to the quarterback when they got to get to the quarterback. The numbers aren't terrible, period, in getting to it. But when you have to make the play, when the game is in the balance, maybe there is a shortcoming there.
Yeah, we talked to Gannon last week, and this was at least talking about the Colts game, where he was pretty satisfied as far as the amount of pressure they could create, but wasn't excited about how they played on the back end. You told us going into this season, if the Cardinals truly wanted to contend in this tough division, that they were going to have to create a bunch of turnovers, say like 25 turnovers. We just haven't seen it. They're pretty on par with where they've been the last 2 seasons, pretty pedestrian numbers. What are you seeing from the back end of this secondary that isn't being able to create any turnovers, get their hands on any footballs?
Well, that's just it. They're not in the passing lanes. They're not getting the hands on them. They've got 4 interceptions in 7 games. They're not getting the ball on the ground, and they're not getting their hands on the footballs, whether they're not in the passing lanes or they're not affecting the quarterback enough when he's throwing it. I see it all over the league. When you affect the quarterback, you're going to get 2. You're going to get an opportunity for 2. And I just don't see the opportunities presenting themselves right now. And that's a malfunction of how they're playing, whether they're playing too much man and, they're not seeing the flight of the ball or, whatever it might be. But they're not, because I think they've got playmakers back there. Buddha's shown, that Jalen's he's never really gotten a lot of interceptions, but Buddha looked like he turned the corner there. But, you got to get more out of your safety play when it comes to takeaways. I mean, it's the number one thing you look for, whether it's Rabbit or Buddha or Jalen, whatever. You're looking at the takeaway column. You can look at the number of tackles. That's good. But ultimately, your safeties are the last line of defense. You got to get the ball out. You got to get it on the ground, or you got to get your hands on the footballs. And they're not getting that enough right now.
Let's talk about the quarterback situation. Another week, another really promising start for Jacoby Brissett. This offense, Baldy, it just looks night and day. And again, it's not like an indictment of Kyler Murray. Drew Petzing, it's obvious now. It's like he wants to run this offense, whether it's Kyler Murray or Jacoby Brissett, and they feel like Jacoby Brissett, is a better fit. But they're going to go back to Kyler Murray in, less than 2 weeks on Monday Night Football. What does it need to look like, Baldy, if they do go back to K1? Because I'm kind of over who should play, what are they doing? Jonathan Gannon knows he has to win games now. This is year 3. Yeah. This isn't an experiment. No. If Kyler Murray does play on Monday Night Football, what do you need to see from him?
Well, I mean, it'd be good if they can win a game any way they can, and if it would really help if he's the instigator of them winning the game. If he is taking the team down the field like they couldn't finish last week with plenty of time, 2 minutes ago to take the team down the field, 2 timeouts. They had plenty of time to go do it. They couldn't get it done. If he's in that situation, he can go get it done. Yeah, he's got the ball. You give it to him. But the eye test is that Jacoby's been a better player. But, they're still losing games. They're scoring more points. The offense looks better. If you ask the tight end who he wants, there's not even a question. Trey McBride was all world last week and got the ball in every situation possible and the touchdown. So, but Jacoby's running the offense. If that's what the offense is, he's running it. They're just not making the play necessary to win the game like they had a chance last week.
I mean, the numbers speak for themselves more than a touchdown difference. I know it's sample size 2 games for 5 games, and you're right. I mean, the playmakers are getting the ball, and they're getting the ball downfield. Jacoby Brissett, 11 big play passes to Kyler.
Zay Jones on that last drive.
Yeah.
I don't know if Kyler makes that throw in the middle of the field like that. I kind of feel like, you might not see him. That's a great throw to Zay. That's
my question. That's my question. Can Kyler run this style of offense at all, just given, his build or his skill set?
Not the play action passing game the way they're running it right now and not what they're doing. I think Jacoby's a better fit for what they're doing and how he's getting the ball down the field and they're getting the chunk plays. But we just haven't seen it. We see splash plays from Kyler, throughout his career, but splash plays don't win playoff games. You got to have a downfield passing game. I did the Eagles-Vikings game. They were terrible until last week. They put the quarterback under center. They went play action, and he had a career day. In this league right now, if you want to get your chunk plays, you almost have to do it. Play action, max protection, get your speedo routes going, and, allow the routes to develop down the field. If you're not getting chunk plays, you're probably not scoring on your drives right now. It's just too hard with penalties and all the things that can happen to any offense, missed block here, missed assignment. Like, you need your chunk plays to get in the scoring position.
Baldy, it's tough. We're at a point in the season where we never thought we'd be covering a 2-5 team. And, it's double tough because we're big fans of Jonathan Gannon, what he's been able to do, the culture, players respond to him. He got an A, NFLPA grades. They're making strides off the field. Yet, as this is a production business. You have to win. And they're in one of the most, if not the most cutthroat division in the NFL, the NFC West, where every team but them is 5-2. What do you need to see from Gannon's team over the final 10 games for you to be able to say, okay, he is the right fit long-term for this franchise?
Well, first of all, this is a week-to-week league, and anything can change in an instant. They've got 2 really good teams, 2 really good offenses that they got to go up against on the road back-to-back weeks here. Dallas can put up 40 on anybody, and Seattle is a dynamic team. But if you beat a good team, if they go to Dallas and win, they went to Dallas and beat them, Jonathan's first year, I think. But if you go to Dallas and win, you're going to get on that plane going home going, there's nobody we can't beat. That's just the mentality of a player and of an organization. It's got to start, with a spark. It's got to start, but, it's got to be a belief. And so they've got 2 really, if you finish this thing 2-7, the season's over, and they're just going to kick dirt all over Gannon and this whole staff, Monty, the whole group. They're just going to throw dirt in the crypt, and you're not going to get out of it. But if you go to Dallas and win this game this week, to me, this is the season. Because you get to 3-5, you can see some light by beating a good team, a really good offense. As good an offense as there is in football right now. If you go there and win that game, that you can really change the whole fortune. And you can see a win streak come together.
Well, and that's kind of what the coaches, Gannon included, have been kind of preaching. 5-game losing streaks are usually reserved for teams that are picking at the top of the draft. This is not a roster that's devoid of talent. They maintain their close. Do you see a team that's close? 13-point differential in these 5 losses combined.
Yeah, but you're still losing. And so losing, it's just hard to come to work when you lose. It gets harder. You can win one, lose one, you okay. We're going to get it together. But until you do it, until you finish a game out, and because I'm just looking at numbers right now, they're being outscored 76-29 in the fourth quarter. You can look at all the numbers and all the close losses. They're getting beat by 50 points in the fourth quarter, and most of them over the last 5 weeks. So, it's 4 quarters. It's 60 minutes. It's not, okay, well, we're passing the ball good. We're getting chunk plays. We're making, some third downs. None of that stuff matters. Turnover, if you want to win games, turnover differential. You look at the turnover differential in this league right now. And if you're at the top of the list, you have a winning record. You're the Colts. You're a winning team. But if you're at the bottom and you're not winning that battle, you're not winning a lot of games.
It's wild. That number is 76. It's 78 the rest of the first three quarters. 78, and then they're giving up 76, close to the same in one quarter's play through the 7 games. It's just it's unbelievable.
I mean, two touchdowns last week.
Yeah.
I mean, they so you can talk about all the upgrades in talent, and there's upgrades, and it's a much better roster than it was. But the roster still isn't. You could say, well, we've only gotten 7 weeks together. We need more. All right. Well, I mean, tell that to the Indianapolis Colts. Tell that to a team that has completely turned things around this year. I mean, they're on the same. Indianapolis and Arizona's on the same timeline, right? Yeah. I mean, trying to find a quarterback and do all these things. They're on the same timeline. 2 coaches from the same system. They go to different organizations. One looks like they're unbeatable, right? And they are, basically. And the other one can't win a game. So, both teams have gotten 3 years together to put it together, and this is where they're at.
Would it be a bad look, Baldy, on Monday Night Football, this team going up against not only Brian Schottenheimer, but Clayton Adams, who's the offensive coordinator for Dallas, really made a mark here the last 2 years. Yeah. It's fair to say, like, the Cardinals have not replaced him. And I do think that it is an indictment on the organization that they allowed potentially the wrong offensive play caller, wrong offensive mind to leave. And at this point, like, it's a huge detriment to this franchise, Clayton Adams leaving.
I couldn't agree with you more. And, if you just look at Javonte Williams, like, that guy looked like he was washed up, in Denver. The guy's second in the league in rushing right now. And the way that they're running the football reminds me of what they did, in Arizona for the years that he was here. They ran the ball damn good. Like when they went to Pittsburgh and went to Dallas and won those games. I mean, James Conner, they were running it really well. And, I mean, they've done it with a lot of – there was 1 week they played 4 backup offensive linemen. You couldn't tell the difference. And, honestly, Dak has never played better, ever. It's not even close. And so they put up over 40 now in 3 of their 7 games. So he's made a big difference, a huge difference. And he's got, a rookie right guard that has been in and out of the lineup the last few weeks. It doesn't seem to matter. They've got guys that were playing left tackle that have no business in this league. You couldn't tell the difference. And that was kind of like the bailiwick in Arizona, too. The number of different guys they had in there. Nobody knew who Froholt was when he first came and the whole thing. But he's made a big difference in Dallas.
And Micah Parsons 1 sack in that game. If you remember, it was Dak scrambling, got hit at the line of scrimmage, basically. Like, Clayton Adams did a good job against Micah Parsons. The Cardinals did not. Baldy, where are you at this weekend?
I'm in Philly. The Giants and Eagles rematch. So we'll see if, that collapse by the Giants is legendary. We'll see how it affects the team. The quarterback is dynamic. I love him. He's fearless. So we'll see if they can bounce back. But I have a feeling Philadelphia's back on the right track.
Are you a scat man?
No, huge. I couldn't stop watching him at Arizona State, and I watched him through the draft process. And I knew as soon as the Giants got him, I said they've got their running back, and I knew the Giant fans were going to go crazy over him.
Bad offseason for the Cardinals. Lose Clayton Adams, let Cam Skattebo leave their state. We had Skattebo on this show in the spring. He wanted to be a Cardinal. He made a private visit with this team, and he
wanted to stay in Arizona.
Yeah, his family's here. I mean, think about the dynamics of this team, how they would look different, the energy he would bring. I don't know how many more wins it would translate to, but this franchise has no juice right now, and he has more than enough to go around.
Whether it's doing backflips or just the way he plays the game.
Yeah,
like you can't help. Like if I was a kid, I want a Skattebo jersey.
Yep.
Like Christmas, I'm getting Skattebo. I'm a fan of his. Like I can't wait to see him on Sunday.
Unbelievable stuff from our guy, Brian Baldinger. Baldy, follow him on Twitter, social accounts. Watch him this weekend, Philly, New York. Thanks, Baldy. We'll talk to you soon.
You bet, guys. See you, man.